So, this will be my third year going to the CWVE Child Welfare Virtual Expo or event, whatever. So, before the event begins, oh, hell no. Before the event begins, I would like to address a couple of topics, i.e., definitions. I would like clarified if possible during the expo. It'd be greatly appreciated. So, for the first speaker's remarks, I have highlighted the first section to ask them why are they depending on others to validate their purpose. Their purpose should be solidified within. It should be such as important enough to save children. It should be that simple. I don't know why you would have to go outside of your own self to validate your purpose. Because if it is a pious purpose, it shouldn't need anybody else in the world to justify it. So what's going on with that? Because one big question I have, isn't it true that if successful in behavior change and positive outcomes, wouldn't your numbers decrease regardless of population growth? So, in other words, success of social worker behavior change and culture change and societal positives, not positive in your definition, but positive in reference to not going to jail, having a job, being happy American free people, in other words. So, continuing. I was hoping you could define transformational leadership. I will look for definitions myself. If I cannot find them, I will let you know. I would like to know what success to you means. Cultural responsive approaches, to me, defines bias. So how do you counter that? I don't see anything but bias there. Create positive change in child welfare. So increase your numbers. Yes, I understand, but positive to the rest of the world doesn't mean increase your numbers. So let's get a line there. So on section, hear powerful leaders from tribal communities share their story and experiences in driving transformative change within child welfare systems from fostering bravery. So I was hoping you could define bravery. What does that mean in the child welfare system? More caseloads, running into homes without warrants? Is that considered brave to you? I mean, is it? I don't understand where bravery would come into place if what you're doing is righteous. So, continuing. Compassionate future for Indigenous children and families. So, what I read from that is to give power to the constituents to manipulate Indigenous people's value to increase accordingly to the question mark, because it's never really defined, social workers, steering committees, whose perception to get a societal empathy or equality. And that was in reference to discover how these leaders have navigated challenges, built trust, built instead of earned, is what I said, and empowered their communities to shape a more equitable and compassionate future for Indigenous children and families. Collective leadership in building psychologically safe. The heck does that mean? Psychological safety, brave spaces, inclusive teaming, power sharing, and resilience. Red flags foster growth, inclusivity, and resilience. What does transformational leadership mean? I will look. If I cannot find it, I will let you know. So the session will also highlight how authenticity and awareness of positional power can help shape leadership journeys and explore how engaging a community of care supports can get anyone started on developing the skills they need to lead and be led. That to me sounds like groupthink. And what is this deal with power? It's not true power, so who cares about it? Building bridges to improve mental health. Bridges, you mean your services bridges? The nonprofit bridges facility? What kind of bridges? What kind of gap is already existing there that you want to fill? Because in my opinion, things should be separated. Just because they enter a child welfare system doesn't mean they have mental health issues until they enter the child welfare system. So anyways, that is a bridge that has already been there. That should be burned. Continuing, I'm sorry if I offend you. You shouldn't have erased my first video. Coordination between these systems. Tools and strategies to enhance participation, collaboration skills, and explain how participants can get involved with the National Center's service. So it sounds like we have another computer program, in addition to this other one you mentioned, that you want to use as a tool to intrigue possible recruits. I would check your algorithm first before you decide to use that. Even though I would check the whole thing. The data was inputted wrong. You need to recluster the whole population. Anyways, as I stated, you shouldn't erase the first video. It's nicer. Next. Poor public perception, inadequate resources, a lack of evidence-based strategic supports and initiatives, and few participatory collaborative models. So, how is it that, and then it's the power you want to share at the same time? So what is it? What is it that you have? Fake power. But anyways, inadequate resources, really? Well, then lower your numbers, decrease them. Let's go ahead and let you make money off of the savings of taxpayer money. Let's go ahead and help the population improve behavior, such as people that want to work, people that see value in serving their country, people that find freedom as a value, not a flaw, and individualism, not race. Customer relationship manager. So that must be customer. That's an interesting term from you guys. If you only regard them as customers, they might be treated a little better. I do agree. But we'll see that day someday, maybe. They're not customers. You're not in the customer service industry. Okay? Because if you were, things would definitely not be economically cannibalizing yourselves. Enough